would you pay so much attention to idle words? If you knew that love was a leader, would you follow ways of guilt and fright? If you knew that prejudice was a seed, would you plant it in your garden? If you knew that wars could never be won, would you cease your fighting? If you knew that beyond every tear there could someday be laughter, would you bear your hardship?
Good. Terrible death. Cut it, but that's what we do.
Okay.
It's interesting that it's recorded at Brian Wilson's house.
Well, it wasn't all recorded at Brian Wilson's house. Some of the cuts were, and some of them were recorded at Wally Heider, and we went in Western. We went to different studios with a cut on there called "America, I Know You." Brian first recorded me in the shower up in Bel Air. He laid a track of crickets. He hung a mic over the shower, and I recorded part of that poem, and he did it on a mono little cassette player. Then the way we got the track, he got a bunch of musicians, which you can see on there, some well-known Tommy Morgan, Stella Castellucci, and he took the mono cassette player and mic'd that. And so I'm not doing it live in the studio, it's off my mono, and the musicians played to my mono recording that Brian had done in Bel Air directly to the mono and not to me live. And that's how they got that sound on America, I Know You. I think Brian, it was very, very brilliant.
Well, I think so too.
And he wanted to make it, and then after we did kind of an advanced version, he said, let's make it more like a home recording, and that's how it came out to be, like a home recording.
Could I get an idea how many minutes we're in? I don't know how we're going to do that, but if you could just shout it over the PA system so I can get an idea where we are in the show. We're all talking a lot about the past right now, but your present is pretty darn interesting. I'd met you outside of the Liquid Kitty nightclub in Hollywood, in Santa Monica about a year and a half ago. We were there to see Carlos Guitarlos. But subsequently, you went overseas with P.F. Sloan, your good friend. You joined him over there, right?
Well, I didn't perform. I did go over there with him, but yeah. I went with him to when he did some of his dates. When I had a couple songs on his album Sail Over.
This is in mid 2007, right?
Yes,
yeah.
I believe that was the date.
Yeah.
And then from there we went to India, and John Tiven came with us.
So, but your, I would say, revived poetry career, but actually there wasn't a poetry career earlier. Your new poetry career, which is really something. How did your visit to Europe with P.F. Sloan for the release of his 2007 Sail Over album, did that help promote the next step, or was it
I think in the sense that it got me used to England and going back again, which I'd been there because I had a hit previously with David Courtney called Magic Touch for a group called Odyssey. What happened was Beach Boy Stomp the next year invited me, the same year invited me to go to England and be their guest.
Beach Boy Stomp, I guess, being a Beach Boy celebration, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And somebody met me there and asked me if I'd play a pub in Brighton named Paul Adset, and then I started doing that, and then he introduced David Courtney introduced me to a guitar player named Richard Durant, and then I got booked in all the. I'm giving a capsulized fast version because it's a small show, and then I got booked to play the Brighton Fringe Festival with Richard Durant, hence the album Galactic Symphonies, which is a series of.
I know this is not going to zoom. I just show it to you. Galactic Symphonies also came out in 2008.
Yes, on Longman Records.
Mm-hmm.
One side is a DVD, the other side is a CD. And it's a series of poems starting with the ocean. Not quite so idealistic as A World of Peace, because in the ocean it's an unromantic look at the treachery of nature if we don't pay respect to it, and how it doesn't consider human feelings, emotions like kindness, how it is ruthlessly itself what it is, and it's a little bit of a different tone. but there's still a lot of the elements and even some of the same poems in it. And what happened out of that, I started performing and getting a lot of bookings, and I stayed for many months, and we got nominated. I got nominated for Best Male Performer in the Brighton Fringe Festival, and we came in second. I think there were several hundred performers. I did TV shows, I did some BBC, and I have the beginning of a new career over there, and in Netherlands and a few other places, and hopefully in the United States with the record to start performing again, which I am up for it.
It's so wild.
And I'm 66, which I'm not ashamed of. I'm really excited about the possibility of doing this.
The English stint happened part of the Beach Boy stomp, and you never came back?
Oh yeah, I came back. This has happened over a few years. I'm capsulizing it, 2 years or so.
Really? I don't mean you never came back, but I mean you didn't go right from there to the tour of England.
No, I came back for a few months, and
the tour of England was pretty lengthy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was there altogether. Well, the Fringe lasted, almost a month, but I was there for something like 5 or 6 months, and I just had a great time. Plus, not only did I get to see England and the Lake District, Grasmere and Windermere and Liverpool, but I got to really know Brighton, and I got to really enjoy the South Downs in England and so many beautiful places, and I really got the feel of the English people and the English countryside.
Now, the economics of a rock band is pretty tough when they're on the road because you got the equipment and stuff. Now, you're just a guy with poems, so you...
I was sponsored, and they gave me a place to stay. They paid my way over.
Wow.
They even paid for my vacations, so I was very fortunate. I wish I could do that well here all the time.
Yeah.
Hopefully I will.
It's incredible. How do you, I mean, millions of people want to get a sponsor. You got one.
Well, I didn't ask. They kind of asked me, but...
Who's that?
It was Paul Adset was one of my benefactors, and then other people have backed my books and my projects.
Oh, so it wasn't like Motorola. It was sponsors were people who liked you.
Yeah, and they seem to like the work and like me and want to create something, and less of a profit motive, more because they like the nature and the quality of the work. And also, I've had some great musicians that have played with me, and I met a great bunch of musicians in England.
I guess I didn't get the musician part. I mean, I know you've been speaking the poems, but I didn't know for sure that you had
on this one, Richard Durant, a classical guitar player and a wonderful guitar player, did the music, and I've also worked with David Courtney.
So that's how the sponsor was able to carry the musicians on the road with you for Galactic Symphony. You're also in a niche, a Kalinich, a niche that no one else is filling. I mean, the traveling troubadour.
It's so exciting, and I hope it doesn't take other people 40 years, but I'm just telling you, I say never give up if you have a dream, if you believe in it. Just be prepared that there are a lot of realities and a lot of things that can break you in half, and that's part of life, but keep going onward. Right now I feel like I never want to leave Los Angeles again. That's how I feel today, but hopefully I will change. But if you have a strong idea and you believe in it, I believe you should follow through. And even though this is a cynical time, I'm very hopeful. Believe it or not, I'm trying to get a plug, but Barack Obama, I'm grateful that he won the election, and it's not going to be an easy haul, but hopefully a new tone and a new optimism and a new possibility to give more people an opportunity for a place and for a chance.
Well, as someone who you say had a great deal of faith in JFK, this seems like a parallel situation. It remains to be seen because it's only November 2008 right now.
Yes, and it's not a slam dunk. It's not easy, but I feel more hopeful, and the people in the air, with all the fires and all the things we're going through now, there still is an optimism about the future and the present that I haven't seen for a long time. I don't know if you've experienced that, but I have experienced that.
Of course, saying the fires, we don't have to say what time of year or what year it is, because there'll probably be fires going on.
Yes.
If it's the Santa Ana winds are out here. In the stuff I've seen, there's YouTube stuff on you performing in England, right?
Yes, sir.
And so, how are you dressed for that occasion?
Mostly with the Galactic Symphonies, I picked a white outfit, white pants, white shoes, white shirt, and sometime I'll wear a music T-shirt under it with hand-painted lyrics or something, not a hat. And I just like that. Somehow I like white. Also, that means I get a lot of white outfits.
You weren't berobed at any point?
No, I do have capes and stuff, but I haven't gone to that extreme yet. I'm not looking for followers, just like for people to listen to the poems.
Do you have any you can recite off the top of your head?
Yeah, I could do anything you want.
That would be great.
One of the Galactic Symphonies. Never before in galactic span has been told the tale of man. Defies all bound, defies all space, upsets all theories, and in their place puts wisdom of the ancient race, stories of creation thrown. And that's from the Galactic. Now from the Magic Hand. On the other side of death is life, and life is loving. And zombies who gather together in congregations and mass strangulations feel the bubble is bursting because their soul is thirsting for a touch of the hand, the magic hand that with fingers finer than pure gold, fingers not made of flesh or bone, fingers that are all things. This magic hand echoes as a symbol in every land, that itself it is a part of every woman, every child, and every man.
Well, you know, there's been a little gap between your 69 and 2008 thing. Are some of these poems things that have been always within you over the past few decades?
Some were written a while ago, some are brand new. I'm writing new ones every day. And I also had, the last thing I want to tell you, the good fortune of a DJ in the United Kingdom from Nottingham, Cal Gibson, put a dance track to one of my records off World of Peace, and they played it on BBC.
Wow.
I didn't bring it today. I'll send it to you.
Wow.
And I'm really excited about that because that's the last thing I thought.
That's wacky.
You have to have humor because either people like what you do or hate.
Well, your career path is very whimsical. I mean, holy smokes.
It's amazing. But I got to tell you, one critic, because I used to be ashamed, but one critic said about World of Peace, he said, this would even make uncut hate hippies. So I thought, he didn't talk about anything else on his online blog. And I thought, my God. And then I wrote back to them, which everyone says you're not supposed to do, so everyone online could see my response. Because I'm still passionate, I care about life, and I just hope I can touch as many people as I can, knowing that, as Frank Sinatra said to us, you got to start out knowing that half the people won't like you right off the bat.
Well, you know, you're starting to get into my territory here about crits, because you call yourself a crit, you're saying you're critical. It doesn't mean you're objective. It means the word crit. If I said to you, I heard somebody criticize you, you don't say, "Oh, did he like me?" No, I mean, and the critic will argue that a critical evaluation could be positive, but no, it's not.
But I would say one must develop the art of turning insults into compliments in your own processes.
Man. So what, again, it's the end of 2008 right now. What are you planning? Are there more English tours?
We're planning to go forward more with The World of Peace Must Come.
Which is the album we heard the cut from.
And they're going to have a launching somewhere in LA, which I'll let you know, and hope to perform this, and that this record will have a longevity. One professor advised it to Barack Obama to put on his iPod. I didn't do that, so that would be great for me.
Wow.
And then I plan to do things all around the world, and hopefully I can get sponsorship for the Galactic Symphonies to take them around. I'm creating all kind of new projects, creating cartoon characters for kids, working in all kind of new areas, open to new opportunities, writing songs.